Hi guys, it's a warm welcome back. This is Alpha Omega Occasionally. And on this occasion, I'm talking about regrets. Do I regret coming to Thailand? I don't regret the fact that I live here, but I do regret the fact that I didn't look at the bigger picture before I came to live here. I think I've touched on this before, but I met someone last night that the conversation I had with him kind of really opened my eyes. I'll tell you how this happened. I was doing a video for the Big Picture El Panorama, which I do almost every night in Wig Wang Night Market. As you know, if you're a regular viewer to this channel, you know I have the other channel, the Big Picture El Panorama. And while I was doing it, I'm not going to mention his name, one of the nicest guys I've met, he's a subscriber to the Big Picture El Panorama, and he's from the United States. But he doesn't live in the United States. He lives in the Dominican Republic. I say that again, Dominican Republic. And you see, places like that were never on my radar. Well, they kind of were. Well, that's obviously the Caribbean, but I was thinking more in terms of South America. If I was thinking of any as an alternative to retiring or to living out your life, your latter years in a more, say, just a more friendly climate, put it that way. But he told me about the Dominican Republic. Now, I'm not going to quote the exact figures, but you can check it out. Now, I didn't check it out before I made this video. I just go on, as I always do, I just go on my own experience. And my experience was talking to this guy about the Dominican Republic. And it turns out that to facilitate your longevity in terms of your stay in the Dominican Republic, it's a heck of a lot cheaper than it is to do the same here in Thailand. And the culture, well, hablo español un poquito. The Dominican Republic, obviously they speak Spanish. If you're an English speaker, Spanish is second nature. I mean, you'll pick up Spanish like that as opposed to trying to pick up Thai. So there are two, say, aspects of that would encourage me to look at the Dominican Republic as opposed to Thailand. Other things he said, obviously, La Señorita in the Dominican Republic are absolutely drop dead gorgeous, as they are here. And I asked him about safety. He said it was quite safe. He said you wouldn't get away with going around with the camera necessarily like I do, vlogging or whatever. But apart from that, if you keep yourself to yourself, they'll you'll have a peaceful existence. But you see, the problem with me is, if you want to call it a regret, I didn't look beyond Thailand before I came here. I was sheepish. And I'm not saying that anybody else behaves sheepishly by coming here, but there are a lot more, there's oodles more options around the world that don't have the amount of bureaucracy that's attached to staying here. I mean, at this stage, I'm in my 12th year. I'll be 12 years here within the next 5 months. And I'm still where I was when I came here. I'm still on a visa. And my visa application is being processed at the moment. And the way I see it, I mean, not that it should happen, but let's say you look at a scenario where your visa wasn't approved and then you have to leave. Well, do you know, I would go elsewhere. I would probably go, let's say, to Southern Europe. I know I mentioned the Dominican Republic, but I hold an EU passport. I'm an EU citizen. So I can go to anywhere in the EU without any bureaucracy, give or take. So the no-brainer, I mean, disregarding the places like the Caribbean or the Dominican Republic, I'm not saying the Dominican Republic is the only place in the Caribbean that's convenient and easy to settle in. But as a European citizen, as a EU passport holder, you know, you don't need me to tell you, you can go and live in any part of the EU without any hassle. And I would probably think if everything went belly up here, I would have to look at the south of Spain, maybe the south of Italy, maybe Cyprus, Crete, places like that, because the weather is, let's say similar. Let's say, okay, they're not tropical, but it's obviously, again, you don't need me to tell you, the weather's lovely. And if you go to Cyprus or Crete or a place like that, English will be sufficient. If you go to the south of Spain, English will be sufficient, but you can speak Spanish. If you can speak Spanish, hablo español, life will be wonderful. And another thing about that is learning to speak Spanish. You wouldn't have to learn. I've never been to Spain proper. I've been to the Canary Islands oodles of times. But just by watching TV and listening to radio, uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, lunes, martes, I can get una, correct me if I'm wrong, una havesa, por favor, quanta la costa. Spanish is second nature to an English speaker. Quanta la costa, how much? Quantity. La costa, the price, the cost. It makes perfect sense. So does it make perfect sense to look at Thailand with tunnel vision and say this is the place to come to when you're going to have to jump through hoops to maintain your existence here? I would just say at this point that I don't regret being here. I mean, look at it. It's wonderful. This is the last week in October. And it's amazing. You don't need me to tell you that. But because I will never, you see, this is the fact that the insular nature of this place, because you're always the Farang, and you'll never be anything else. Even if you do get a Thai passport, are they going to change the way they look at you? Absolutely not. I mean, the thing that really pisses me off is my son was born here to a Thai mother and people call him Farang. So you see, I know you get racism all over the world. I mean, calling a 6-year-old, giving him a handle, a title, that's racially motivated. That really, really gets me going. Harry says to me the odd time, Daddy, so-and-so called me a Farang today. And I know if I go to South America I'm called a gringo, okay. But at least I've got the possibility to gain citizenship in South America or the Caribbean with relative ease. Not here. I mean, I've said it before, it's like pigs will fly. But you see, that's not a criticism of here, because that's your choice. It is my choice. No one's forcing me to be here. No one's forcing you to be here. But do I have regrets? Yes, I have regrets. We all have regrets about everyday life or whatever, but I have regrets about coming here, about not necessarily coming here, but not having the bigger picture in mind, not being able, not having the foresight to look around and see what my better options would be. Maybe you did before you came here. Maybe you're looking at all options, not just Thailand. Well, my advice to you, if you're a European citizen or an American or an Australian or a New Zealander or a Canadian or whatever you might want to be, or whatever you are, maybe you're looking at all your options, because you have plenty of options that are a lot easier than Thailand, and the situation you could land yourself in could be just as pleasant and rewarding. I think that this video has been a rewarding experience. Well, I hope this video has been a rewarding experience for you. Whatever you feel, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section. Make sure, if you haven't done so, click that subscribe button. But whatever you do, come back and join me for another wonderful video, and viral video. That's probably what I was going to say. Viral video again. Thanks for joining me.